Back to RwandaTV News, and my name is Austin, Okomianko Austin. It's time for the international news. President Donald Trump has acknowledged that he is starving the U.S. Postal Service of money because he wants to make it harder to process an unexpected surge of mail-in ballots. He claims, without offering evidence, that postal voting will result in widespread fraud.
Uncle Austin.
Yes.
How was the experience reading the news tonight?
Oh my. You know, I grew up watching news anchors on TV, and you know those things they do. Good evening, you are watching our TV news. This is tonight's story, President Paul Kagame. And so I wanted to, to have a feel of all that. Yeah, so it's amazing. What you guys are doing. It's so hard to do, man.
But you did a good job. You did a good job.
Thank you so much.
So your names, what are your full names, and how did you come up with Uncle Austin, you know, the uncle bit?
Well, my parents had always thought about my names because I'm called Austin Luwano, and then I'm a twin. Oh. So my mom always called me Butoya, and my dad always called me Tenywa because I have parents from two different countries. And when I started working on radio when I was young, like 16 years. So I had this deep voice, so I could always get phone calls from mostly female callers. So the guys that we worked together ended up calling me the ladies' uncle. So that's where Uncle Austin came from.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
So as a musician, if you are not a musician today in another life, who would Austin be?
Now that's a hard one, because a friend of mine visited me one time and I cooked for him. It was like, Austin, if you aren't a musician, I think you would be a chef.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like you should be cooking somewhere, or you should actually open up a restaurant and start cooking for us.
What's that favorite recipe that you have?
Well, I do have a couple. I do love cooking different things. It just depends on the day. But
Austin,
I love cooking chapatis.
Are you sure? I hope so.
And I love cooking pilau too.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll take that to your word. Motivation when it comes to music, what motivates you? Because, you know, others write in the middle of the night, others write when they're lonely or depressed, others write, you know, when they're happy. What motivates you when you write your music?
I think it's every situation. Because when I'm depressed, I write so much happy music.
Oh, really?
When I'm sad, it's when I write happy music. When I'm happy, it's when I write sad music, like sad lyrics.
But most of your songs are love songs, rukundo, So where does that fit in between being sad and happy?
In the middle. I'm also good at imaginary stories. So like I see it, like when I was writing an example, like this song Kumotima, I said I wanted to bring back a little bit of what I used to write in 2010, 2011. Like those imaginatory stories. Like, you know, when I say ngo ichamu kabichaye ngazaja ngumwa buri gitondo, like I want to feel it, you know, every day.
Maybe my news director can give us the song Kumutima, and Austin can give us a bit of, you know, the taste of his music.
Oh my sweetie manana, you move you know
oh my sweetie baby, uko kitungu cha roho yangu. Oh dinglenge dinglenge, nakubona nga dinglenge dinglenge, yeah. Abagukunda kunuvali benshi kaninanje. Abangunda kunuvali benshi. Hariko koni story ndende, nibindi nibirabire. Abo bandi bari kure, kuko ibyabo nibirabire. Esubundi baby kuchutari Google. Ngombe ntabwo sacinga koko. Oh, chifukwa chipenzi changu cha mtima unhora kumutima. My love for you can never die unhora kumutima.
Good one. So what's that one thing that we do not know about you, Austin? We know, you're a radio presenter, you're a musician. We now know you're a chef. But what's that other thing? What's that other side of you that we do not know?
I'm a DJ.
Oh, really?
I started DJing when I was in senior 3. And everybody doesn't know that. I went on to DJ till I finished university, but I just decided not to keep doing it because I was doing too much of radio and too much of emceeing and singing. So I didn't want to do everything.
So today, if you're given, the DJ decks, you would surprise us, yeah?
I would surprise you.
What's your favorite genre of music?
Reggae. Yeah.
Who inspires you to, to love reggae and its rhythms?
I actually have a nickname, Tosh.
Yes, Tosh, yeah.
My dad gave it to me because I grew up listening to too much Lucky Dube. I would always get a bottle of soda. We had this big mirror in the living room, so I would always get the bottle and pretend like it's a microphone. So I start singing using a bottle. And he used to love Peter Tosh, the Jamaican reggae artist. So he gave me that nickname of Tosh because of my singing too much reggae music.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey. So before we let you go,
yes,
what motivates Austin, on a good day, on a bad day? What motivates you? What gets you kicking throughout the day?
Well, in Kinyarwanda, they love to call it Ishari Jiza. Like each time I look at somebody reading news very well, I get motivated. When I wake up and I listen to a beautiful song from another artist, I get motivated. When I see somebody driving a nice car, I get motivated. When I see somebody building a beautiful house, I get motivated. When I see a country, developing so much, I'm like, wow, I think I'm where I'm supposed to be. So I actually need to work harder the more these other people are working harder. That's what motivates me every day.
In a rate of 1 to 10, where would you put the Rwandan music today? Being among the people, from the very first hits we had were yours.
Funnily, our own don't think our music is up there, but luckily, people outside this country that follow music in general actually see our music at 11 now, way beyond the 10.
Way beyond the 10?
Yes, because I've sat down with international artists from Sauti Souls to Pato Ranking to Biniman. And then when they listen to the music here, they tell you it's unbelievable that this music is being done in Rwanda. They don't even believe the productions that we actually have are done here. Because we have better producers, better productions, but maybe we're not financially there like them. Yeah.
So you believe that much in our music?
I believe
that
so much
one collabo that you really want to have? And you'll say you've done a good job?
Locally or internationally?
Or locally?
It depends because the kind of music that the kind of artists that I always want to do or collabos with are people that always sing differently from what I do. So I would have said the video or Burna Boy, but I would do another collabo with Medio the Bed.
Yeah, the boys, eh?
Yeah.
Well, before we let you go, this one song that was requested by most of our friends, on Twitter, one of your very, very old songs.
Okay.
We'll let you sing it as we sum up.
Okay.
Yes.
Which song is that?
By the news director, Zakwizirikawa, I believe.
Oh! I wrote that song. Funnily, I wanted to do a song. So I took a bus from Kigali to Musanze, a studio called Top Faisa. My friend Patrick is the owner. So when I reached there, I slept over, and then in the morning we went to the studio. We reached the studio and power went. When power went, I decided to sit out of the studios and start writing the song. That's how I wrote Nzakwizirikaho. Yes.
Wow, interesting. My news director, if you could give us Nzakwizirikaho as we sum up.
Love is a beautiful thing, they say. Me say, love is a beautiful thing and love me. Uncle Austin again. With the super touch. Pastor B, bigger side. Umagambu fuganda yazi. It's a one and that easy. tuwokunda niwe naze ndifuza ayikumenya itamanga bichochai umwabuye
Chitonu ungabonayo mahirwe yo kugora itamanga bayo mazi oga buri munsi ukwemerera kujuba muri dushe my heart is calling your name, hey, my heart is singing your name, hey, come to me now, or else I'll die tomorrow. Indirimbo yoni yawe, ikwibutsa mbao. Indirimbo yoni yawe, ikwibutsa mbao. Uwo munda ni wowe, uwo nifuza ni wowe, nutembea kwa wowe.
Thank you very much, Austin, for of course making time to be with us this evening. Good to know that other side of you as a chef, and hopefully we'll get a taste of your food someday. Well, my name is Fiona Mbabazi. Thank you very much for joining us. Have yourselves a lovely evening and a good night from me and Austin.
Thank you so much. Good night.
It's good night.